Hello again, this is Preheat. Welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. So today we're going to be doing an add-on spotlight on an add-on I get a lot of questions about that I think is really great called Talent Loadout EX. This can be found on CurseForge. I'll include the link in the description below. So by default, Blizzard UI only allows you to have 10 total talent settings per character, and that includes all of your specs. So if you play all 3 specs, that's only about 3 to 4 per spec. It's really limited. So what Talent Loadout EX does is it allows you to have basically infinite amounts of talent loadouts. So I'm going to show you how this works in-game. So whenever you open up your talents, you'll notice on the right-hand side here, we have the Talent Loadout EX UI, and I don't have any configurations here yet because I wanted to show you how to make those in this video. Okay, so let's say I just want to simply add this as my Mythic Plus build. If I click Add Config, now I can give it a name. Once you have the name in here, you can just give it an icon, and it does have a bunch of the icons saved for current content, which is really nice because you can actually have talent loadouts for each individual dungeon. But for this, I'm just going to choose a random one and then save it. So now you have it here, Mythic Plus. Okay, now let's say I want to take this a step further and I want to actually have different talents for each individual boss. The first thing I would do is click where it says Add Group, and I'm going to call this Aberrus. And then I can select the icon for Aberrus here and click OK. And now I have a group. As you can see here, my Mythic Plus is inside this group. I actually don't want that, so I'm going to click Mythic Plus. I'm going to click up, and that way it's no longer in the groups. Okay, so I've added the groups for each of the raids here, and I also include a dungeons category, just for fun here. So let's say I actually want to import the bosses for each of these. So the first step I would do is go over to Wowhead. With the mouse over the classes, I'm going to click Devastation, and then I'm going to click Major Skill Tips. So I have already all of these on the Wowhead guide, so let's go for Null Root. I'm going to click Copy Null Root Build, and this does require that you have at least one loadout that you can keep reusing to import, but since you can't import directly into Talent Loadout EX, I'm just going to give this a fake name and import it in just like so. It's going to say Changing Talents here, and then I'm going to click to add a config. So if I click Add Config with the Major Skill selected, I can then call it Null Root. I can select his icon here and click OK, and now I have the loadout for Null Root, and then I can just go down the list. So the next one is going to be Agira. I'm going to delete this loadout because I don't want to have this gunking up my loadouts here. Now import the new one, and now I can click Add Config, choose Agira, give it a name, and click OK. So as you can see here, you don't actually have to wait for the little bar to finish, like applying the changes. As soon as you have it here on the page, you're able to save it as a config. And it is a little tedious to have to delete each of these templates because you can't import directly into this tool, but it's not too bad because you don't actually have to wait for it to finish. So I'll click Volcaros here. We'll do the same step. I'll click Import. I don't actually have to give it a name. Don't have to wait for the bar to finish. I can just immediately click Add Config. And then I can give it a name, and I can select the icon. And there we go. So now I have 3 of the builds. And as you can see, if I just click on them, it will automatically change my talents in this tree. And you can do this as many times as you want. I'm not going to add every single boss in here because this is just on PTR. I just want to show you how to do it. But if you want to take the time, you can absolutely go in and load up each and every one of these builds. And I do have them all ready for you on the Wowhead guide. So if you're looking for those loadouts that I have, I do change them over time, but the ones I have right now are just going to be in the Aberrus tips and Major Skill tips, Vault tips, and also on the Mythic Plus page. All of these should be ready for you. So anyways, that is how you set up all of this. If you want to change, by the way, which category something is in, all you have to do is make sure that you move it up or down. The interface is pretty straightforward. So let's say I wanted to move, let's say Null Root is actually in Aberrus for some reason. I'm going to click up. That's going to move it up to the Aberrus group. Now you can see it collapses here with Null Root inside, but obviously I don't want that, so I'm going to put it back down here. And then whenever you are done with one of these, if you want to just get rid of it, you can always click Delete. You can always edit it too if you want to change the name, choose the icons. This is all pretty straightforward. But what's really nice is once you have all of this loaded up and you save it by either logging out or doing a /reload, then you just have it for good. And you can always update these on a case-by-case basis. So let's say that for Agira, I want to change the talents. If I double-click Agira and I make a talent change here, like let's say I want to pat on the spears, all I have to do is change the talents and click Save. And now Agira has been changed to this one. So if I swap away from it, swap to it, you'll notice volatility is still here. I'm going to go ahead and put this back though. It's a pretty straightforward add-on, but the ability to add as many templates as you want is really the power of this thing, and the fact that you can group them up and categorize them really makes it great for a tier like Season 4 where there's just so many raids to do. Anyways, hopefully this add-on is useful to you, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, and hopefully I see you in the next one.